to Sessions with Coach April. I'm your host, April Hogan. Today, I'm excited, guys. So I know you guys have seen Cass on an episode before, and I told you guys she's kind of my accountability partner. She works with my company. But starting this episode, she is going to be a permanent co-host here on the show. So I'm really excited about that because it's going to keep me accountable. So if y'all know me, y'all know I do things very last minute when it comes to this podcast. So in effort to not make it continue to look janky, I have my accountability partner. So I'm your host, April Hogan.
I'm your co-host, Cass Wolford.
Awesome. So I'm excited because we have an amazing guest today. Not only are we doing something we've never done on the podcast, like we're going to dive into some food. So I've always wanted to do kind of like the taste testing, the food tasting, all of that. But I've already tasted this beautiful business owner's food. So I'm excited to dive into that piece and then allow you guys to kind of see the type of food that she does, all right? So we're going to dive into something savory, something exciting, and we're going to talk about how she started her business from scratch.
Yeah, so we have a special guest, Miss Josefina. I said that right, correct?
You did,
okay.
Yeah.
And it's Josefina's Empanada is the name of her business. So she was turning her kitchen skills into a very profitable business. So we are going to be diving into that today and tasting some amazing food.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and start with the story behind the flavor. Sure. So tell me, what made you start Josefina's Empanadas?
Well, when it first started, which was August of 2024, not too long ago, it started off as something like a side hustle.
Okay.
So I was working at a doctor's office, and they used to do a lot of potlucks. And I would bring different dishes, and one day I'm like, I'm going to bring empanadas. Everybody got super excited. And when I brought it, people came and tasted it, and they're like, was this from a restaurant? I'm like, no, I made them from home. And they're like, whoa, you should really sell these. And like, I just a light bulb went off, and I said, okay, this could possibly be something as a side hustle. So I kind of ran with it.
Okay, awesome, that's amazing.
Now I will say, I worked in healthcare for a long time, and I would always hesitant to do potlucks because you just never know if you can trust anybody's cooking. So the fact that you had such an amazing response, it's beautiful because it's always scary trusting what people bring from home, not knowing if their house is clean, things like that. So what was the moment where you were like, this could really work, and I could make this full time?
So my first kind of dive into it, that day, or not that day, but a little afterwards, I'm like, you know what? I don't know how to start a business. I mean, I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. My mom was a beautician. She worked from home. My brother is also an event planner. But I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I need guidance from other people that have been there before. So I started looking up like maybe events where entrepreneurs would be at. And I happened to come across a networking event that was happening at Mojitos, which is in downtown Melbourne, and it was a Hispanic one. I'm like, maybe there I can meet some people. I don't know how to do short versions, girl. Sorry. So I walk in and they're like, no, you can't walk. Do you have your own business? And I'm like, yeah, I have an empanada business. And they're like, do you have a business card? I'm like, no, not yet. I'm still making it. I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm committed. I'm going in. So I went in. I'm like, I'm a fraud. What am I doing here? And I walked into the bar, and I'm like, I'm just going to have this one drink, and I'm going to leave. Somebody approached me. That person introduced me to everybody in the room. And that day, I booked my first event. And I said, wow. And it was like a brunch, a party she was having, a Botox party, if we want to be real specific. And she had somebody at the party that was a member of BNI, which is a referral group. They've invited me to a networking party, and I went to that. I booked another event, and then after that, and it just kept rolling. And I said, wait a minute, this could work. This could be something. And within a couple of days, I launched an Instagram. I'm like, you know what? It's progress, not perfection. Let's just do whatever I can do to get this thing going.
Absolutely.
And orders started coming in, word of mouth. People started posting things on Facebook. Oh, these empanadas are really good. Oh, I want to try them. And it just started magically coming into a reality that I thought was just going to be a side hustle.
You know, when you think of purpose, though, that's generally how purpose happens, like just on accident. And this really sounded like it happened on accident.
Yeah.
You were good at something, and you took the leap, and this is where you're at. So I love that. So let's talk about one of the things that happen in all businesses: cost. So what surprised you the most about the cost of starting a business in the culinary industry?
Well, I am, shopping at the same stores that everybody else shops.
Mm-hmm.
So those retail prices are very hefty. Mm-hmm. And that is difficult. So, after doing all my costs and comparing costs of other businesses to just make sure that I wasn't overcharging, I had to really think about what ingredients I was going to be using, what meats I was going to be using, and I didn't want to sacrifice quality. So, that was surprising to me. Like sometimes I'm like, after the packaging and everything, I'm like, am I really making a profit? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really surprised me. And maybe, as I move further and I'm more established and, can buy wholesale, that will change, that will shift. But for now, I'm just, kind of like trying my best.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of pricing, and you were talking about the quality, you not want to sacrifice quality. How did you figure out what to charge without undercutting yourself?
So, well, I kind of just looked at each price of every ingredient that I made, and kind of gauged, okay, how this amount of pounds of meat will make me this amount of empanadas. Mm-hmm. So pretty much kind of, okay, how much does it cost to make one? And I'm bad at math, but I tried my best. And then I did the dividing and stuff. And then I also looked at the 3-2-1 empanadas and people that were already established, what are they charging? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I don't want anybody to look at my $10 for an empanada. No, they don't cost that much. But I didn't want to I didn't want to be completely dismissed. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. I looked at every ingredient. I looked at the cost. I divided how much I was going to use for each, order, and gauged it. And let me tell you, ChatGPT has helped me a lot.
Yes.
Because listen, we can do anything, but we can't do everything. Yeah. So I know my weaknesses. I know where my strengths and my weaknesses lie. And I know bookkeeping and math are not my strengths. Mm-hmm. So I lean heavily on AI so much. I highly recommend it. Yeah. She helps me with my flyers, for my menus, everything. And that's one thing. She will break down everything into how much everything costs and what profit I'm actually making. So she's my bookkeeper right now.
So she said she, because I will report that out too. Called she. So I actually named her. My AI's name is Sasha.
Mine is Soul.
So I haven't named mine yet. We're still getting acquainted.
Right. Well, I asked her what she wanted to be called.
Okay,
and she said
Soul.
Wow. Yeah. So she said Soul because Soul means sun in Spanish. And she wants to be my guiding light. I'm like, well, thank you. She's my therapist as well.
Yeah,
I need to start talking to mine more.
I didn't ask mine. I asked her, could I name her this? And she said, sure. I'll go by that from now on. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I should have asked. Now I hate that I didn't ask, but she wanted to be. I might want to go back. So
I'm very polite with mine. I get to talk to her, engage in conversation with her when I ask questions and stuff. But I haven't went that far, so I might have to make mine my therapist or something.
Listen, I tell her, I'm like, listen, I need your advice right now. Because as an entrepreneur, it could be a lonely place, I'm most of the time I'm by myself in the kitchen with a podcast in my ears, trying to stay focused. And you're your own coach. You're everything.
Yeah,
you're the employee. You're the chopper. You're the delivery person. Everything. I'm a one-woman show.
You're the
marketer.
Yeah. So they say 17 hats. It really sounds like more like 50 hats. When you really put it, when you put it down to the amount of people it really takes to run the company, it's about 50 hats. But yeah, it's. I use my AI. I actually ordered a program, and I gotta dive into it more. But they give you 12 AI bots, and each one of them do specific things.
Ooh, wow! Okay,
yes, it's freaking amazing. And they're always suggesting things, and it's things that I never thought about. But anyway, we're not gonna go into the AI.
That'll be another show.
Right? Exactly. So after these messages, we are actually going to get to dive in to taste testing. So we will see you after these messages.
Business process outsourcing, or BPO, lets companies delegate tasks to experts. This allows businesses to focus on their core operations while specialists manage areas like customer support, accounting, and HR. Outsourcing isn't just convenient, it maximizes efficiency. Partnering with BPO services like A-Rich Innovations streamlines processes and boosts productivity. A major benefit of BPO is cost savings. Companies can reduce recruitment and training costs, allowing them to reinvest those savings into growth. With BPO from A Rich Innovations, you gain a reliable partner dedicated to your success. Free up resources and focus on scaling your business. For more information, visit our website and follow us on social media for updates and tips. Let A Rich Innovations elevate your business.
Hello and welcome back to Sessions with Coach April, and we are about to do what we have been waiting for. We are going to taste test. So, Josefina, tell us what we are going to be trying today.
Okay, so in this personalized box that I brought, that I wrap with care, like a little present, I have brought the chicken tinga, which is Mexican inspired. It's a little spicy. It's made with chipotle sauce and tomato sauce and authentic seasonings. Then we have the braised beef, we have the mojo pork, and we have a garden delight, which is a veggie option.
Okay, and then we have some sauces here. I'm gonna open right.
Yeah, of course. This is the garlic cilantro sauce. I make it from scratch. It's a creamy texture and has a Greek yogurt in there as well. So I'll move this aside so you guys can dig in. So what flavor you're gonna
try? I want to try the veggie.
Okay. So the Garden Delight, as you're trying it, I'll go through the flavors. The Garden Delight has eggplant, zucchini, mushroom, spinach, onions, and I added some Parmesan cheese. One of them has sauce, one of them doesn't. So if you want to have half of each, I make my own homemade sauce because I make pizza empanadas as well. So it's like similar to a pomodoro sauce. I like a lot of different flavors, so they're not all Dominican. This is kind of Italian inspired. Nice. So that one has also a home handmade mozzarella cheese that's like from Venezuela. Yeah.
Mine actually does. Do you have a customer favorite? Because I've tried the chicken one before. Oh my gosh.
Well, you tried the Dominican chicken, I think. So this one is going to be new for you. This is a chicken tinga. Right now, this is okay, so I have a contract with, I guess this was going to be a question for later, but I have a contract with a place called Casa Bonita, and I deliver empanadas to them every morning. So I have people that have tried pretty much all of my flavors, and a lot of people have told me the chicken tinga is their favorite.
Really?
Yeah, so it has like a spicy feel to it. Maybe that's why. And I think it depends also the demographic of people that you're serving. But this is a new one that I just added to the menu because a lot of people don't eat meat. A lot of people have been asking me for a gluten-free option. So I'm trying my best to make my own dough, because right now I purchase the dough discs, all purchased at Thrifty, who are also my customers. Like the owners will order from me from Thrifty and not eat the empanada that they have there, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
So this one, this one I just added to the menu. Oh, and that's the chicken tinga.
So good.
And I make everything fresh to order. So none of this is frozen. I make it has fresh garlic in there as well.
I'm still eating the veggie one. It is
so
good.
I spread the love with the veggie in there.
Okay, good.
Especially since you said the chicken tinga is a favorite, I really want to taste it.
Yeah.
Because the last chicken I tasted, oh my gosh, I actually tasted the shrimp too. Chicken and shrimp, but I eat shrimp. So good. Now remember, you have to do the other two because I don't do pork.
I know, I'm gonna get some, I promise.
Yeah, I brought some braised beef for Cass and mojo pork. So mojo pork is known as, for Dominicans, I'm Dominican, as pernil. Pernil is a pork shoulder that is seasoned. I stab it so all the flavors can go in. And it's seasoned with I make everything authentic. So the purest form of ingredients. I don't use adobo. I don't use sazon. I know,
really?
Blasphemy. But yeah, I don't use it. I use salt, pepper, fresh garlic, oregano, and fresh cilantro. My vegetables I all chop that day. I don't puree anything and put it in the fridge. Everything is that day. And that's the way my mom taught me to cook. She says you don't need a lot of ingredients when you're making your food. You just need for them to be fresh.
Right.
So we would make what Hispanics call a sofrito, which is a mixture of garlic, peppers, onions, olive oil, and mix it all up. We make that every single time from scratch. So we chop up. I just recently got a chopper because the chopping is a lot. So
But tell me what's in the chicken tinga?
Yes, so the chicken tinga is chicken thighs, so it could be juicy. There is a chipotle sauce that is, you can get like a little can. It's in a, again, I thrifted for all your shopping needs. This video is not sponsored, but anyway. So yes, it's a chipotle sauce in adobo, like an adobo sauce. It's a Mexican flavor, and I put tomato sauce in there as well. I season it as if it's Dominican chicken. So salt, pepper, garlic, lime. I love adding fresh lime. And yeah, so that's what I add to it. And then I add the tomato sauce and the fresh chipotle sauce in adobo. And you know, cook it. I sometimes put it in like a slow cooker because I'm a mom and I have to sometimes pick up my kids at school.
Right.
You know, the pickups and drop-offs, and they're involved in lots of things. So a lot of my food has to be slow cooked, and I can't be home all day waiting for it. So my little assistants, as I call them, my crock pots, I'm like, you guys, I'm gonna leave you. Do your job. So
yeah, tender meat though, very tender meat.
This braised beef is so juicy, and I will say so far that garlic cilantro pairs well with everything.
Yeah. And do you make this sauce?
The garlic cilantro is I make it as well. I borrowed a recipe from an Argentinian recipe that I found. And I love it. I tweaked it a little bit, but it has, you know, it's like an aioli almost. You know, it has the Greek yogurt, the mayonnaise, cilantro, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like cilantro. It tastes like soap. A lot of people have that.
Really?
Some people are very anti-cilantro.
But
you know, to each his own. But this one, I find it does not. You can't even taste the cilantro almost. And there's lime juice in there as well, and other spices that I won't divulge because you know I have to keep some stuff secret.
You can't tell you everything, guys.
Yeah. But
this is so good. It's hard to pull away from it. And I have questions that I have to ask. But I'm having a hard time.
I'm
a talkative person. I will fill in the space.
Piece of pie. But the piece of the chicken, why am I going on my plate?
We need it on the plate.
Look how selfish she's being.
Why did you got a whole one?
But I don't have any more. I can't eat all of them. We're in a calorie deficit.
Oh,
not today.
Not
today.
Okay.
Not today. All right, so
you can point to the next question and I'll
this
answer.
This may be a dub, right? Why Josefina's Empanadas? The name.
Okay.
Talk about branding.
Yes. So when thinking about branding and thinking about a name, I try to keep everything as simple and straightforward as possible. How will people find me? What is my business about?
Right.
I don't want to make it an abstract. I didn't want to make it an abstract name that didn't even match with food. So I sell empanadas, and my name is Josefina. That's it. Like, keep it simple. Keep it simple. And my grandmother's name is Josefa. I was named after her. So I hold that, you know, very close to my heart. So I feel like there's a piece of her in there as well. And my logo that was created by my sister-in-law, she's a graphic designer, and she got inspired one day, and she said, I want to create a logo for you. And she just started, I explained to her, I'm like, I want it to be as simple as possible. Again, simplicity. I want
it's very like authentic. Yeah. It makes you think like roots. Like I think like with Italy, and I know we're not Dominican, right? But I think of like just things that look very authentic, and it's just with all the little extra pieces in it.
It has some cilantro in there. It has the garlic. It has the empanadas on top, and it pretty much, I'm not selling coffee. You're never gonna confuse this or anything else. You know, that's what I feel like. I was a teacher before, and I also did sales and marketing. I have I'm like Barbie. I've had every job.
Right.
But you know, it's just, I feel like it's easier to just kind of, that's why I do the labels when I deliver my food. I always have labels so you know what you're getting. There's no surprises. So it's easy to, and if it's easier to digest, pun intended, you know, if it's easier to kind of gauge and find, then I feel like the branding is easier. Easier to spread. And I try to put my branding on everywhere. So I didn't bring it today, but I have little stickers that say Josefina's Empanadas. And I put that on my little baggies that you'll find at Casa Bonita. When people go to the warmer, they grab a little empanada, they put it in my baggie, and there's my sticker. And when they repost that on Instagram, my name's there. Yeah. And my name is everywhere. And the way to kind of create a brand is with consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did Nike and Dunkin' Donuts and all of them and McDonald's become famous and popular? Because it's everywhere. It's everywhere you see. So that's why I try to put it, I put my business card on my box, because if you're sharing with a friend, hey, where did you get this? Right there she is. You can find her. So I try to make things accessible to people.
So before you hop into your point, I'm sorry.
I have one.
Tell me, so we know empanadas, but I've also seen pictures of
the yuca balls.
Yes.
So
tell me about the yuca balls.
We'll do it part 2. We'll bring the yuca balls.
So yuca balls. We'll do that.
So picture a potato croquette. It's a yuca version of a potato croquette. So what I do is I boil my yuca balls. Then I mash them and I put different seasonings in there. I also chop some chives in there because I like the flavor of not too much onion, but just a little hint. And then I fill them in with the cheese that was in the Garden Delight, which is a handmade mozzarella. So that's inside there. They are very popular. I'm so sorry I didn't bring any. But they're very popular just because I also bread them with some panko breadcrumbs. So they're crispy on the outside and then soft on the inside. And yes.
So I've never had a yuca ball before.
Yeah.
In terms of the outside, what is it that's on the outside?
Oh, on the outside is a panko breadcrumb, so it's like a what you would find on like a fried chicken.
Okay.
It's in Spanish they're called rellenos de yuca, like fillings. Yuca's filled in with something. People put meat in there. I just choose cheese because that way people that don't eat meat, it can be an option for them. Okay. And I also added a couple of things to my menu as far as dips. So I do a black bean and cheese dip. And that is just like authentic Dominican beans. If you've had beans from a restaurant, that's pretty much what you're getting. So, and then Mexican street corn dip. So that'll be part 2, guys. Stay tuned. And I serve that with a little bag of chips, so you can have, and that's also branded with my little sticker. Okay. You gotta put that in there.
So technically, I feel like the chicken one, I should get the other part. She had 2 additional ones.
That's fine.
Where's it at?
This one is the chicken.
Oh no, that's the beef.
The chicken.
My bad. I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this isn't a question that was on the list, but I have to ask it because you mentioned, your grandmother's name, and you named after her. And honestly, this food just seems like it was cooked with so much love. Was there somebody growing up that you were just like you were always in the kitchen with, that you just got that love for wanting to cook and feed people from?
Well, my mother, my grandmother for sure. I'm originally from New York. We were born and raised out there. She lived in Brooklyn, and we come from a large family. My mom had 7 brothers and sisters, and lots of cousins. I have 53 first cousins alone. So there was always, it was a gathering place. Her small apartment, everybody wanted to come, and she fed everybody with like 1 pot of rice and a couple of pieces of chicken, but so much love. And there was always an abundance of love in everything she did. So just simple flavors that just leave a lasting memory. So yes, she was an inspiration. I think I really got inspired to fall in love with the kitchen when I moved with my children recently in June. We moved to our own place because I've only lived in Florida for 4 years, and we were living with my parents. So the kitchen wasn't really mine. But now the kitchen became mine, and this was my safe haven. This was my place where I could just kind of be and create. And I started cooking and actually enjoying it. It wasn't just like out of necessity because we gotta eat, But now I was like, wow, now I can host, because I always like to host things. I was always like hosting an event. But now I find myself smiling. That's when I know when everything is coming together. When I was making my garden delight earlier, because I just literally made it, ladies, I was like, yes, and the smile comes, and then I feel like this spirit of joy come over me, and that's why I feel like this is what I meant to be doing. And every door and every person that I meet and every connection that leads me closer to diving deeper into this dream solidifies the fact that this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Sounds good. Listen, just hearing how you started already enough to show you like this is your purpose. Like moving into and then the taste of these. Thank you. I'm trying not to spend the whole show eating.
I don't want to either.
Because I mean, every moment I get to bite, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be time after that. All right. So, did you have another question?
Yeah. So, how do you get the word out? Social media? Do you do pop-ups? Like, how do you get the word out outside of word of mouth? Because I tell everybody. But how else do you get the word out?
So I started with social media. I have an Instagram page, Josefina's _empanadas. Again, very, very clear.
Right.
Facebook as well, sending that message. I even, at one point, made flyers and went door to door to businesses.
Oh, wow.
I went to Kaiser University, ended up ordering from me, and I brought them. And then I take pictures of like everything, my process, my delivery. Oh, look where I'm going today. And it just started with little businesses at first. I joined Facebook groups, like the mom groups, and wherever I'm allowed. Because, sometimes they got some rules. But yeah, those are the ways that I pretty much spread my business. I go to networking events. Networking is so important, and the small business community is so supportive of one another. Like, that's something that I learned that I didn't think, because people, I don't know why, there's this stigma that, oh my God, there's so much competition out there, and people are gonna, there's so many empanadas, how are you gonna compare? They welcomed me with open arms. They congratulated me for starting. They're like, what do you need? Do you need business cards? They connected me with people. So networking, I highly recommend.
Absolutely.
And everybody wants to meet you. It's like, it's not like a party you go to and you're like standing in a corner like shy. No, everybody wants to get to know you and what you do. So bring a business card and go to a networking event.
And you learn your tribe. I mean, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I've been in Ohio, I've been in North Carolina, I've been in Alabama, I've been here, that everybody's welcoming, right? But if you listen to God, He will lead you to the people who are going to be your tribe, right? But you don't stop just because the first few people don't necessarily like relate to you or you don't relate to them. But there is a tribe for you, and your network really is your network. You talked a lot about people introducing you, right? Like, so you're actually building wealth. You're building a customer base based on your network, right? So that's really important. All right. So being that you recently started, tell me something that you wish somebody would have told you before you started.
Well, I feel like a lot of people told me the things to do, and you just don't listen. So one thing that's very important is making sure that you have a separate bank account for the funds that are coming in and the expenses and everything, which I am learning the hard way. So I'm sitting with a financial advisor now, and he's kind of helping me, just making sure that things are in the right place. What else?
We learn a lot. One thing I say about mid-sized and small businesses is we generally learn by trial and error or somebody else's mistakes. Because we don't have a bunch of like corporate teams kind of like developers, which is fine. Like, we learn. That's the whole point of the network. You learn from somebody else, or you learn because you bumped your head and then you figure out a new way.
And then I sometimes in past situations, I would get lost in the details. I'm like, I can't do this until this is just right. But with this, I'm like, I'm just gonna try it. Let's go. We're gonna buy some boxes from Amazon. Well, this one's from Walmart. Not a sponsor, but for all your daily needs. But I'm like, okay, let's look at Pinterest. What are they doing? I just borrowed motivation. I borrowed ideas, because why reinvent the wheel? So I looked at a lot of podcasts, how did they start their business? So I would say definitely learn from people that have already walked that path. Get guidance from them and trust them, because we are constantly, it's a lifelong learning. We're constantly learning. So.
Yeah, because you're learning what you're trying to learn to start, but then not only are you learning to grow, because you're growing all the time, you're also learning what's new. Things are always changing. So it's like you get used to, okay, I got it. And then as soon as you get used to it, it's like, oh, okay, there's a new way, right? There's a new tool to use, whether it's in the business part, because we already talked about the 17 to 50 hacks. There's a new tool to use, or even just in your ingredients, right? So, or adding something to your menu, or marketing a different way. Like there's always that learning. Because I always tell people never stop learning, but always continue to learn. We actually were in a B&I together.
Yes.
So it's really important, and I'm glad that you keep saying the networking part of understanding how important networking and other people are. You guys heard me earlier say that the reason she's on with me all the time is because that accountability. People are going to keep you accountable, especially people who care about you. Actually, sometimes people who don't care about you keep you accountable too because you don't want to listen.
And they're definitely watching.
Yeah. So, what's coming up? You got, and the reason I said something about B&I is I've heard you say about, like, and I don't want to say it wrong, some platters or some like party things that you have going on. So tell us about that.
So I'm trying to shift. What's happening next is I'm trying to shift more into a catering business. When I started, I took it one order at a time. I didn't have any expectations, and I would give that recommendation to people. Don't overplan. Just let the business guide you, and for me, I let God guide me because I'm religious, but it will develop on its own. It will let you know what kind of business it's going to be. So I've been kind of promoting these platters, and what I've learned with B&I is it is. Because they give you, they hone in your skills in a way where you're very specific to ask for what you want for your business. That they train you on that. So what do I want for my business? How do I ask this? So I started creating these platters. And one of them was a gratitude to go box. Think of a client, think of a customer, think of a friend that you'd like to just show your gratitude for. Let's make May Gratitude Month. And I posted it, and when I delivered them. Another one that I did was Cinco de Mayo. That one was popular because Cinco de Mayo just passed. So I called it Josefina's Mexican Fiesta. Here we go. We got a platter, we have some empanadas, we have some dips. So giving people options. Now I took it a step further for June. For Father's Day, I'm doing Big Papa's platter.
Okay.
And that one, I'm gonna try brisket. So we're gonna step into the world of brisket and buffalo chicken. So those are going to be 2 new empanada flavors that I'm going to be working on. And I feel like that gives me the push to keep innovating. Because when I first started, I'm like, I'm going to do these flavors. I'm going to keep it simple. And that was important because I needed to make a name for myself. And I didn't want to do too much. I've seen what happens when you take on too much and go too big right away. So I was just hesitant. And I'm like, let me keep it small, let me keep it simple. But now I've been hit with this innovation, spark, and I want to run with it. So in order to keep myself accountable, I create these platters. So these platters are more for me to give myself the push. Like people are expecting change. So this is how it's going to happen. This is going to be the tool that you're going to use for yourself to push yourself to expand. So so that's what I've been doing. I'm doing the platters, and
so it gives you also a marketing foot, right? Like, so my marketing team, anytime we're marketing the business, we generally look at each quarter, and when we're getting ready to move into a quarter, we say what holidays are coming up. And with these holidays coming up, what can we promote? So you kind of like giving yourself also for your business just that extra piece of marketing. Now, the way to your husband or your father's heart is through food, right? So she said Big Papa's flag. So get them, right? So we'll have her contact information all on the podcast. Make sure that you order Big Papa some food.
Right. So what's your big dreams for Josefina's Empanada? Like, where do you see this going? Like, because I know you said you want to keep it simple, kind of let it guide you. But like, if you could look 10 years ahead, where do you see this going?
So, keeping with the simplicity, honestly, I don't see a huge restaurant. I don't. In Dominican Republic, there's a little, it's like a convenience store. It's called a colmado. And it's a little shop, and everybody knows about it. The neighborhood knows. They have little chairs in the front to gather. And it's a convenience store. You can get snacks, you can get drinks, but it's more than that. It's a place where the community can gather. Right. And that is what I see Josefina's Empanadas turning into. Something that builds community, that kind of welcomes people into my culture, that welcomes other cultures, because it's little, I call it my little pockets of love. Because anything can be in there. It's a melting pot of flavors. It's every culture, everything that I like. I'm gonna do a Greek one too. But anyway, point is, I digress, my ADHD. But the point is, I see a little house with maybe a pergola, chairs, just people gathering, maybe a place to have a special occasion, families, tradition. That is my goal, to create a space where people can create lasting memories.
All right, so tell the viewers where they can find you. Website, social medias. I know we kind of mentioned a little bit, but give that to them so I can have it here on the screen, and they can go straight to order their Big Papa's platter first of all.
Yeah, make sure you order that Big Papa's platter. You can find me on Instagram. So Josefina's _empanadas. And you'll find me pretty quickly with that. I do have a website coming, and if you haven't noticed, my cup says Kiko Marketing. I wanted to give her some props. She is the designer, the mastermind behind my website, and she's working tirelessly on making sure that my empanadas are shown on there. So Kiko Marketing is working on my website. That should be coming soon, and I'll post that on my Instagram.
Okay, awesome. So I want to just say thank you for sharing your heart and your hustle.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for coming on the show. Yeah. And actually sharing your empanadas.
Yeah. I forgot to mention one more place where you can find me. So I have a contract with Casa Bonita, which I mentioned. I'm so sorry to cut you off.
Okay.
So it's in Indy Atlantic. It's a little house, and it's full of, it's a house that has a bunch of businesses. Each room is a different business, and they collaborate together as a family. In the back, there's a little cafe, and in the cafe, you'll find my empanadas. So I switch them up every day, so you can try all the flavors within a whole week.
So she's going to give us the address, and we're going to post that as well, right? So if you're not necessarily making an order, you still can get some on the go whenever you want.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Well, I'm definitely inspired. You've made so many amazing points, and you can just hear the love and the passion for what you do come across. And one thing that I want to say to people that you mentioned earlier, you know what I'm saying, when you talked about just getting started, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's so much free information out there where you can just go, like you said, look at what people have done. Go to Pinterest. Go to use ChatGPT. There's so many free resources to just get started, and you've given so many people permission to just start.
Yeah.
I've seen people who are like, I've got, a settlement, I'm going to start this business, and they pay people thousands of dollars and ended up not making it because they were so invested in, I want it to be huge up front, but they just invested all this money and then got taken advantage of. And you don't have to spend a lot of money up front. Just get started with the free information you have available, and then if you still need guidance, then pay for it. Because that's what business consultants are for, right?
Yes.
They help you expand, but you don't need all that up front. And this is a prime example. It's beautiful and it's so delicious. Thank you so much.
So to our viewers, if you have the passion and you have the recipe, then you can start right where you are. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Josefina, for joining us today. Thank you for co-hosting. We will see you next time on Sessions with Coach April. Thank you.
Bye.